Here's another example that has capacitors and inductors. We have a current source with the value 4 cosine 100t minus 20 degrees amp. It's a current source. It's an AC current source. That's what squiggly line is for. We have a resistor of 5 ohms. We have a capacitor of 1 millifarad. 1 millifarad. We have a resistor of 2 ohms here. And we have an inductor of 20 millihenry. And the question, can you find the current through that 2 ohm resistor as a function of time? So I'm going to use Phasor here. So my 3 steps. You have a problem in time domain right now. We want to solve it. So step number 1, convert to Phasor. So let me convert this to Phasor. The current source becomes a value 4 angle what?
20.
Negative 20. It's a minus, right?
Because it's not the same.
The resistor, notice I treat them with boxes even because I don't want you to worry about is it capacitor or inductor. The resistor doesn't change, the value of 5. The capacitor, negative J over omega C. Let's see what that number is. Negative J over omega C. Negative J omega is what? 100. And what is C? 1 milli, 0.001. So that's a negative 10 J, I think. This resistor is what? 2. Nope. I want to use boxes, not inductors. J omega L. J omega is 100. L is what? Which is 0.2, is it? 0.02 times 100, I'll make it what, 2J? And I'm looking for this current. So I convert everything to Phasor. Step number 2, solve it in Phasor. Well, let's look at that. To solve this in Phasor, probably the quickest way, combine these guys into one. Parallel. The product over the sum. And these two are what? In series. So when you look at that, there's my source. 4 angle negative 20. We'll come back, we'll think of a value for this, we'll see what that number should be. And we know that's going to be the sum of these two, which is what? 2 plus 2J. The question, what's this value? The product over the sum. the product, it's 5 times a negative 10j over the sum, which is 5 plus a negative 10j. Is that negative 50j on the top? Over 5 minus 10j. Let's see what that value. Negative 50, well, negative 0 comma. I'm using complex. Negative 50 divided by 5 comma negative 10. 4.47. I asked the calculator to give me the answer in Phasor or polar. The angle roughly negative 26.6. Negative 26.6. Now, how do we find I here? Current division, absolutely. The current's going to split. What's I? It's going to be the source, which is 4 angle negative 20 times this impedance, current division. We're going to use this one. Over what? The sum of them. Again, if you have a decent calculator, it does all that in one step for you. Oh, I don't know why I erased it there. Two comma 2. I got the bottom number. I got syntax error. Go to. Oh, I have 2 dots here. 26. 26.6. So I got a number here. For angle negative 20 divided by the answer times 4.47 angle negative 26.6. Go to 4.47 angle negative 26.6. If I push all the right button, my current is, let me know if you get the same answer, 2.48 angle negative 80.3. Is that what you got? I'll double check it. Negative 20 times 4.47 angle negative 26.6 divided by negative 26.6 plus 2 comma 2. I get 2.98 angle negative 46.5. Second time. I get 2.98. Can you check that? .98 angle negative 46.5. 0.6 actually. 5.8. Assuming this is correct, what's the next step, the last step? Convert back to time domain. So my convert back, here's I, 2.98 cosine, what was W for that problem? 100t minus 46.6 degrees. A lot easier than doing it other ways, especially in time domain. So that's the process you're going to see me do. Convert to Phasor, solve it in Phasor, convert back to time domain. I'll do another one. I think I have time for one more. So let's take this one. 2.5. Wait. Sometimes I jump the gun. Let me write the expression first because I don't have room. 2.5 cosine 10t plus 9 degrees. That's a source here, voltage source. Two ohms, 1 Henry, 330 millifarads, that means 0.33 farad. And we have a dependent source here. Dependent voltage source of 5I1. I sub 1 is this current, and I sub 2 is that current. Let's see if we can find what I sub 1, I sub 2 are. Let me convert that to Phasor. So to convert to Phasor, there'll be 2.5, angle 9 degrees. Resistor stays the same. J omega L, omega is 10. 10J or J10. Negative J over omega, or 1 over omega C. What's 1? 1 divided by 3.3. Is that a negative 0.3 J? And now we have this source here. 5 times I sub 1. This is I sub 1. This is I sub 2. So when you look at it, really, I sub 1 is the current through this, and I sub 2 is the current through that. And now let's solve it. KVL, sum of the voltage in a closed loop is 0. I have one loop here, I get another loop there. So let me do a KVL here. Minus 2.5 angle 9 degrees plus 2 times I sub 1 plus 10J. What's the current down?
I sub 1
Keep going.
minus I sub 2.
Yep. Let's clean it while we're here. For I sub 1, we get 2 plus 10J I sub 1 minus 10J I sub 2 equals 2.5 angle 9 degrees. That's equation number 1. Now let's do a KVL on the other side.
Lost your screen.
I did?
But you were pressing something. Or you,
I was pressing the computer there. Oh. The screen back up there.
There it is.
Okay. The recording good. Now, let's look actually at this side. Do KVL on that side. On that side, we have the 10J times what? I sub 2 minus I sub 1 minus 0.3J I sub 2 plus 5 I sub 1 is equal to 0. Clean it. 5 minus 10J I sub 1 10J minus 0.3J, what's that, 9.7? And that's equation number 2. So I have two equations by two unknowns. I just got to solve them, and I'm in business. I can solve for I sub 2 here, then plug it in, and I'm done. So if I take equation number 2 and solve it for I sub 2, it says 5 minus 10J I sub 1 equals negative 9.7J I sub 2, or I sub 2 equals 5 minus 10J divided by negative 9.7J I sub 1. Again, I don't really care if it's rectangular or polar. I go to my calculator here. Parentheses 5 comma negative 10 divided by 0, comma, negative 9.7. It says I sub 2 equals 1.153 angle 26.6 I sub 1. Now go to equation 1. Minus 10j times I sub 2, and I sub 2 is equal to 1.153 angle 26.6. I sub 1 is equal to 2.5 angle 9 degrees. So if you multiply that, you'll have 2 plus 10j I sub 1. This will be minus 11.53 angle 116.6 I sub 1 is equal to 2.5 angle 9. You can add these two numbers together or subtract them. 2 comma 10 minus the answer from before. So now I have 7.161 angle negative 2.47 I1 equals 2.5 angle 9. What is I sub 1? Divided by the answer. 0.349 angle 11.5 degrees. And if I know I sub 1, can I find I sub 2? From this, I sub 2 is going to be that number times this number. Which is 0.403 angle 38 degrees, 38.1. And the last step for this is what? Change back to time domain. Remember, W is 10. So the last step, I sub 1 as a function of time is going to be 0.349 cosine 10t plus 11.5 degrees. And I sub 2 as a function of time is going to be 0.403 cosine 10t plus 38.1. And the problem is done.